The alarm's going off, man. Stop hitting snooze. I need you. If you're looking to feel like warm and fuzzy inside, like I'm your guy. So they're in my top 20 EHL teams for sure. There's emotion, there's hatred. This is not like a very friendly series. It's like SpongeBob when he's got like the napkin and like the potato chip. Like that's how I feel. Listen, Colson, I didn't have fun. Everything in my body hurts right now. The team that has the lead in the second period is just not going to win that game. There's no need for air quotes. He's tardy all the time. It's the American thing to do. I was alive, just not buried. No, don't get pucks deep. Hang on to the puck. Pass the puck. Shoot the puck. Are we live? Are we live? We're having a good time. JKP, baby. JKP. Welcome back into another episode of our EShow Coaches Summer Edition series where we go along with every single coach in the league, recap the season, talk about some things for next year. And up today is new to the North Division, the East Coast Wizards, their head coach, Kory Falite. Coach Kory, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. How we doing, Jake?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Enjoying the off season so far. Have you been?
Yep, always. Hopefully we get some more weather like today. But
Exactly.
yeah, everything's good. Everything's
Absolutely.
good.
And you guys are the new guys in the North Division. Two of the top three teams in the EHL finished in the North Division this past season. So when you found out that was happening, what were some of the thoughts that you had?
Um, I've been in this league 10 years and we've shuffled to the north, to the east. We've been in I think a couple different divisions, whether it was two conferences. So it's nothing new. We're excited about it. We see these teams 4 times last year. We're going to see more next year, but they're not new opponents, right? It's a new division, so we know what we're getting, and it's exciting to see some fresh faces in a new division, and it's a really strong division, and hopefully we can chip in and add another strong team to it.
Absolutely. Anything you're going to miss about the East?
Um, I'm still going to play those teams too, right? So it's, we still see those guys, and that's why it's kind of unique where, yeah, we move divisions, but we're still going to see the old foes, and that's what makes it good, because you get to play, most of the teams in the North and see everybody multiple times, and it makes for a good game. So yeah, we'll miss it, but we're excited about the new challenge.
Yeah, you guys are in a great location to get the best of both worlds here. And the East Division this past season, a lot of people viewed it as the strongest division in the EHL for 24-25. So do you think having played that heavy within division schedule helped prepare your guys more for, any opponent?
Yeah, and again, I go back to, like, we played the Avs 4 times, we played the Wolves 4 times, we played the Valley 4 times too, and so like, I think that whole, the Dukes like that were there last year. We see a lot of those teams throughout the year, and it is a heavy schedule, and it does make for better hockey. I'd rather play 1 goal games all year than not. It makes for better competition, and it prepares your guys for not only playoffs, let's say, quote unquote, but for the following year going to college. So but yeah, that division's always been strong, and I think you can say every division has its strong points, right? And every division's good, and there's no we're going to X division, we're gonna have an easy time. Not in this league. So yeah.
Definitely not. And for the past 2 seasons, the start to the year has been excellent for your team. Both in the past 2 years, you've made it to the last game of the October showcase while being undefeated. So, what do you think has enabled your group to be so effective early in the early goings of the year?
I think in the last few years we've really focused on day-to-day routines and process through every day, and we've had some good leadership the last few years, and I think we're going to have some more good leaders next year to kind of set the stage. And this year was unique. We had a lot of returners and a lot of older kids that we normally do. Next year we'll have our handful, 3 to 5 returners, and some other guys that played in the league from around, and you kind of lean on those guys. We will meet us a lot early, and it's more for me just the day to day to set the tone and being on time and showing up ready to work out or whatever it is. Um, so you're prepared. So if you're showing up at 8:15 and you got to be there at 8, well, to me that means the first period you're probably not going to show up till the 10-minute mark, right? Like it all translates. So I would say the biggest thing is starting the process and making it a process day to day to get better every day and not go backwards.
Yeah, and one of those older guys, I talked to him at the very beginning of the season, Nick Heaslip, your captain. He said that he believed that this team had a bit of more of a blue collar element than the 23-24 team. Both teams were amongst the most successful in this league. But do you agree with him on that this team had more of that element to them?
I laugh a little because they were, but I still want some more. I still want to get more of our Bill Ricca blue collar in us as an organization. I think we were highly skilled the last 2 years, and honestly, I think it comes back to bite you if you don't play a heavy style, especially in the playoffs. So we have to continue to get better each year with that and develop more of a from a back end out, not just D, but from our D zone out, playing tougher hockey, blue collar style hockey that we need a little bit more of.
Yeah.
But they did a great job this year. I thought it was a good team. It was they were gritty. I just think we can build on the consistency.
Definitely. And also early in the season was the All-Star College Series. Your players did great, and you got to coach with the Northeast team as well with the St. Hilaire's. JJ Alger put up points as well. All those guys were so effective. So what did you see from those guys over the course of those few games that, allowed their game to translate to the college level?
Well, I think as a whole for all three teams, but the one that I was with, and Joe Alla was with the main team as well from the Wizards. But the one I was with, that Northeast team, I think after the first period, like you try to tell them, and I told my guys in particular, like these guys, they're not like you're going to play Alex Ovechkin either, right? You're just as skilled and fast. They're just going to be stronger and a little bit older than you and smarter. So you got to simplify the game and play harder, right? And so they did a good job, and I think really that Wentworth game, those guys really shined, especially late with the Hilaire's and Alger. Like they took it to a different level, and it was fun to see the confidence grow. I wish we could have won that one, but it was what you asked for as a all-star group going up there. So that was fun. It's a good experience.
It was an unbelievable week. I mean, 3-2-1 for the league. That should have gotten more attention across junior hockey for sure.
Yeah,
Their league
yeah.
is doing that. But as far as the Wizards go specifically, had some big wins down the stretch. Had three huge wins over the Wolves, who you're going to see more of this year, and of course that win against the Express, the first of the season for your group against them. So was that a cathartic win after playing seemingly one goal game after one goal game against that team?
Yeah, it was good to break that, just to get the monkey off against those guys. Every game you feel like, God, how do we lose that game? And they could probably say, every team when that loses can say that, right? But I just felt like they're always great battles against the Express, and any win you get in the league is satisfaction. But just to get that, I think we had a tough streak going against them. But again, every game you go in and play, save one or two that like you come away going, if we get a bounce here, or if this went the other way here, it's a totally different game. And it was just good that for not so much as a coaching staff, but for the guys in the locker room, like, we're okay, right? You just got to show up and do it every time. So.
And also those three games against the Wolves, you saw those guys, I think, three times in a span of 2 weeks. Was it challenging to see that team, over and over again in such a small stretch?
Well, I guess it's good prep for the next year when we play them 8 times, right? So,
I guess so.
no, again, teams like the Wolves, like you want to play those games, Express. You want to play those games. I'd take those night in and night out, because again, it's you're going to attract more people to watch the kids, and also they're playing at a different pace, an uncomfortability factor, right? And you see what we got here, and that's the level of hockey you want every game, and hopefully you come on the good end, and if not, well, you make adjustments and go on the next day, right? But it's always fun playing those guys, and we're going to see them a lot next year.
Exactly. And getting into some specific players from this past year's group, Jake Murphy, a guy who I always really liked, a high energy player, but this year his point totals took on another level. He's moving on to college hockey. So how did you see his game evolve, especially this season?
Jake's a great kid. I think the way he plays, he gets misrepresented off the ice, but like when he first came here, I think he had, and I tell him this too, so I don't mind saying it. I think he had 4 10-minute misconducts in the first 5 games last year, and I told him you're not going to last here very long. Like it's not going to work. And he worked on that side of his game, and he plays with such an edge. I think he was making great strides last year. He was on the right track. I think he had like 19 points in 23 games, something like that. But then he got hurt for the rest of the year, right? And that kind of set him back. And he really focused on being a good teammate that stretch run last year, and came back as a leader, and kind of critiqued his play a little bit too. Let's get people on me and after me, but also like let's produce here, and he did a great job. So we're proud, we're excited for him. He's off to a great spot, both for his academics and on ice as well. So we're excited for him.
No doubt about that. And two guys who are also moving on was your goalie tandem, Braden Ingram and Owen Courier. They were both starter quality goaltenders. So how is it managing the two of them, and how much pride do you take in being able to see both of them move on to college hockey?
And somebody you probably don't know, Hayden as well is going on to Bates College, and he's going to play there. But what a setup for school wise for him. I know he got 7 games, but those three were awesome all year. They were close. They went to goalie school together and all that fun stuff, and they were really tight. And obviously off the hop, it was kind of a rotation, and Braden and Owen kind of took the reins, and Braden obviously is a returner. Was great. 6'5" reverse goalie that didn't really play the puck that much, and then you throw in Owen Courier the next day at him, and you pretty much got a third defenseman out there, which is another look, right? So those two are awesome to be able to kind of go back and forth with, and even in the playoffs, like we play 3 games in a row, 3 in 3 days. Owen gets the first 2 games, he wins, and then he loses. And I think we talked as a staff for like 8 hours on back and forth who should go. And ultimately I pulled the trigger on Braden because, he's done it all year, and why not throw a 6'5" reverse goalie at him in game 3, and he did a great job. We just couldn't find the back of the net. He only gave up, two goals, and he played out of his mind. So it's truly, it was a great tandem, and we could have went with either one on any night.
Yeah, and for the following year, bringing in a goalie that's already committed in Mark Quinn, and you had some players this past season who you brought in that were already committed. So you do notice anything in the mindset that's different of the players who already have that off their plates?
Well, for Mark, it's like for JJ. I mean, you have to show up every day and prepare yourself, because JJ was committed to X and he winds up at Y school next year. So he winds up changing. I know it was a coaching change, so that altered his decision a little bit. But you never know what's going to happen down the line, and you got to stay focused so you're ready to go in freshman year. And for Mark, we have Zach White, who won a championship at prep school with Cushing. He's going to be another goalie that's with us, and we'll have a third as well, hopefully soon here. But it's going to be the same old. The best guy's going to be going, and obviously there's a rotation in junior hockey. We don't just play 1-2 games a week, so it's you got to have 3 goalies that are ready to go. But hopefully those two can push each other, and we can get Zach to school as well.
And I know you're expecting a decent number of returners at forward. Do you think they'll carry over a similar high skilled offensive identity that you guys had this past season?
They all can play. They all can put points up. I think they're all in the right mindset of establishing a good culture off the start. We've had multiple talks already, and kind of setting the tone from the back end out and being better with that stuff and the weight room out. So I'm excited about that leadership in terms of, they're not worried about, I'm going to put up 70 points. No, they're worried about, like, we got to set it from day one. We have 0 D returning and 0 goalies returning. So usually it's spread out where you have 1 in each position, but like last year worked out where we had 6 returners in the back end and a goalie returning, right? So it's kind of flipped the script a little bit, but we'll adjust, and we'll be ready off the top. We'll have some guys that played in the league for multiple years too that are coming over to us, that will help in that kind of role. They know what the league's about, so they'll be able to help that group as well.
And there'll obviously be a number of new guys to the EHL, something that you've dealt with before. So, how do you help get a group acclimated to the league, as early as possible?
again, it just comes back to every day. Every day's a new day. If you scored 3 goals yesterday, great. What are you doing today? And it builds down to shift by shift. It's like, all right, you gave up a goal. Can you take it back? No, you can't. Well, you got to move forward. So it's every day's got to be start over. We pick up where we left off the day before. We don't go backwards, and we keep growing. And it's going to be important to be focused right off the hot, because we'll be young in an EHL sense, but we'll be the normal bunch of 05s and a bunch of 06s, and hopefully that leadership group will do a good job early to help set the tone for the guys.
Exactly, Coach. We're looking forward to seeing it. We thank you for your time and looking forward to seeing you in a new division next year. But again, we thank you and best of luck with everything.
Same. Thanks to you as well.
Thanks for listening to the EShow, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Learn more about us at easternhockeyleague.org and follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms. Also, be sure to subscribe and get notified when our next podcast episode is released.